I have a brand new video for you today that checks lots of boxes. So we're going to be talking today about embossing powders with Emerald Creek and how we can use our stamps and embossing powders to create small embellishment clusters. I'm showing you here the papers and the supplies that I have taken and I'm going to use. That's going to be my background. I'm also using a sketch to spark my creativity today, and also because in the Rediscover Your Stash group this particular this particular month, the product focus is sketches. So we're going to do a sketch. This is going to be a multi-photo layout. This layout will have 6 pictures on it. This is also the first layout in my videos for September, documenting the good stuff. And the good stuff we're going to be documenting today is my oldest son's graduation from high school, because that's definitely the good stuff. I have lots of photos from this event, of course, obviously. And there are a couple that I want to do more as just pages with one photo, but I put together 6 that I felt would work well all together on the same page, and we're going to document those today. I am creating a grid layout. I find that this is the very best way for me to be able to fit a large amount of photos on a page. I also use a sketch. I also find that to be a really great way to get a lot of photos on a page. I am generally not a multi-photo scrapper. I really can't even tell you why exactly, just not. When I sit down and I have to make a page that has a lot of photographs on it, I get a little overwhelmed. I get a little lost. And so a sketch is a great way to do that. Now, because we are using small photos and we're using a lot of them, we're going to need to have to be careful about how we embellish, because we don't want our embellishments to overtake our photos. We want our embellishments to complement our photos. I'm going to show you how I'm going to achieve that look as we move along here. So I'm just going to start by, I cut my papers, my pattern papers down. A lot of these papers are from Cassie Art. The one with all of the numbers and letters is from Paper House Productions, and then that yellow one is actually from a summer line from Cartabella, but I just love that yellow with the dots, or with the big polka dots. I thought it worked really, really well for this page. So what I did was I went into the Project Life app and I put together a collage of photos. We're going to use 5 of these small photos, so these photos are about 2 by 2. And then we're going to mat them and place them onto 5 of the little squares. What I'm trying to do here is, of course, to mat my photos in such a way that your attention's going to be drawn to the photos. I don't want this page to become super busy, but there's a lot of pattern paper and a lot of pictures here. So we're going to have to find ways to maximize our ability to look at the photos and not make it too busy. And in the end, I really think I achieved my goals with this layout. So like you can see here, really I love that picture. It's of my son and my sister who's giving him a big slobbery kiss on the cheek. And so I want to make sure that I don't put that photograph directly on that black square, because if I put it on that black square, it's just going to get lost. So I'm going ahead and matting the photo on a bright light square, which is just going to pop it up and make you look at that photo a little bit more. I'm going to continue on here, adding all of my different pictures to all of the grid parts and matting them. And then my focus photo. So this is the photograph I want to be smack dab in the middle of the page. It's black and white. It's bigger than the other photographs. It's kind of like the main photograph. So I'm going to mat it, but I'm going to mat it just the tiniest bit. It's really not going to be matted much at all. It's just going to give it a little bit of separation from that black block. And then I'm also going to pop that particular photo up on pop dots. And that way it can really stand out and be the main photo, and then the other 5 photos on the layout are more supporting photos to this main one that's going to be right in the middle of my page. This is going to take a little bit because me and the foam dots. I've used all my big ones again, and now I just have tiny ones. So I have to put lots of tiny ones on. I did just order some foam tape, so that's good. It just hasn't arrived yet. So let's talk about how we're going to embellish a page like this. We have lots of photos. The photos are not big, but unfortunately, currently right now, for some reason, every kind of embellishment is gigantic. Have you guys seen like new stickers, new die cuts? It's ridiculous, the giganticness of these the current ephemera packs. So we're going to make our own embellishments that are more scaled to the size of our photos, and that will help us to tell our story without overwhelming our photos or our story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Prima stamps. These are some school stamps. I'm just going to use a couple of the images that I really like. And I'm going to emboss them using a number of different embossing powders from Emerald Creek. Really nice thing about Emerald Creek embossing powders is they have this gorgeous like multi-layered color to them. So they're not just a flat one color. They have multiple colors, multiple like metallic finishes, different things like that. So we're really going to kind of play up that. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just using my Ultinew embossing ink and these stamps, and I'm going to stamp these images a bunch of times. The reason for that is because I have found after doing this that you don't want to do just one image. You want to heat emboss a couple of different images. If you heat emboss a couple of different images, you have a few to choose from. So if the embossing powder doesn't quite hit the right way, or if some is a little more distressed than others, you know you're going to find one that's going to work really well. So I'm just flicking off the extra embossing powder. This is Rustic Indigo, I believe. I will link to the Emerald Creek blog where there will be a list of all 3 of the embossing powders that I used, just in case I'm getting the names wrong here. So this is going to be fairly quickly. I have a really nice Wagner Studio heat tool, and it just done so quick. So you can see I have this one. This is that, I'm pretty sure it's Rustic Indigo. So it has a little bit of white. It has a little bit of a dark blue color. Really, really pretty, different looks to it. So I've gone ahead and I have heat embossed globes and these little ink tubes. I've done them in that Rustic Indigo, saffron, and also a hammered metal. Hammered metal might be my favorite embossing powder from Emerald Creek. It's just so pretty. It has such a nice texture to it. But as you can see, I'm now fussy cutting all these elements out. And again, this is going to create the perfect size embellishments. Embellishments that will complement my photos and not overwhelm them. So I'm just going to continue on here. I'm going to cut out my the 3 different colors in the globes and the inks, and these are the ones that turned out the best. These are the ones that had the best look to them after I heat embossed them. I wanted a little bit of texture on my project, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that one up, and I'm going to wrap some twine around that particular block, and then I'm going to tie it nice and tight, and I'll have a nice little bit of texture on my layout, something a little different. So I went through some graduation die cuts and stickers that I had in my stash, and I'm just choosing the smallest of them. The biggest thing I can tell you about documenting a multi-photo layout is that for me, I need my embellishments to be the same scale as my photos. And so I'm going to do that with these lovely little embossed embellishments that I've created, as well as a couple of die cuts. So this is going to complete my layout. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to head over to the Emerald Creek blog. They are doing a Dare Challenge this month, which is all about being too cool for school. And what's better than graduating, right? So, and there'll be lots more inspiration, different things throughout the month of September. Be sure to check back with me on Wednesday, next Wednesday, when I have another good stuff layout, multi-photo layout to share with you, documenting the good stuff. And yeah, that's about it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. There won't be too many this week, but there'll be oodles of them next week. I have a whole bunch of YouTube hops and different things going on. So I will see you all again very soon. Here are lots of close-ups. You can see all of those fun little embellishments I created. Bye!